Hello, we're live tonight, and I did a sketch the other night, which I will show you the origins of this sketch. Right now I'm going to lighten it up, and then I'm going to add my black lines, and then I'll do the playback for you so you can see the whole thing. What is that? Interesting. I don't know what that is. Looks like something on this layer. So let's grab an eraser. Nope, it's not on that layer. It's on that layer. We'll go light with this. And bucket fill the background so I get a nice white contrast. Okay. And we'll start off with vector lines using a vector brush, black ink. Okay. I actually did a very symmetrical face here, so I think I'll go ahead and use the symmetry button. When you're drawing digitally, there's a lot of aids you can use to make your drawing a little more exacting, if that's what you're after, which sometimes I am. His nose is a little wide. And this mark is a little bit too wide. Let's just tone that down a bit. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate seeing folks out here on my lives. We're going to do a drawing with sort of a psychedelic. It's going to be full color, psychedelic, flower field with a woman walking through, and using Adobe Fresco on my iPad. And do I have that symmetry on? Yes. But where is it? Uh-oh. There it is. Right in the middle. So I'll make the drawing go a little bit faster. I want to get a little bit smoother on that. So thanks for stopping by. You know, I like to do these demos because I know that a lot of people in their lifetime have done some kind of drawing. And a lot of times it's when people were really young, they did some drawing. And, you know, now they're at a point in life where they're too busy with other things, whether it doesn't matter how old you are, you can be too busy with other things. And part of what's really cool about an iPad is that, I'm going to get this circle going, is that there's really no cleanup. There's no setup, there's no cleanup, and you just are able to kind of go for it and then put it away, and there's no art cleanup. So not that I don't love like genuine painting on paper or canvas, or sewing quilts, like absolutely, I am not advocating that we give that up. But in order to build skills, drawing skills, this is really a great way to do it. And then, you know, I personally go back and forth between paper and digital because there's there's a certain, there's a huge difference. But the skills inform each other, and building skills in one does not mean that you won't be good at the other. So both is great. Okay, we're going to add some sunglasses here using a circle guide, which is really nice. If I was drawing this by hand, I would be pulling circles out. I have circle guidelines, but a lot of times they're not the right size. So I'll be like hitting my drawers and pulling out can lids and, whatever. Okay, she's going to be really groovy looking. Thanks for hanging around. I really appreciate it. I'm going to check the comments really quick. Saludos. Hi. So Maxo Angel and the Goat, Kashal Kishore. I am in Bellingham, Washington, so that's the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And I appreciate coming by, you coming by and asking questions. I am looking for new subscribers, so if you enjoy learning about drawing digitally, or you would just enjoy watching another person draw, I come on fairly often and do that, and I try and share what I know as I'm going along here. Okay, so I don't want to be symmetrical on any of the rest of this. I think I'm going to turn that symmetry button off. But I will use that circle again for the sun. And we'll get the sun on here. That's good. I know where I want the symmetry button. We'll do a bird, and I will add symmetry to this bird. Okay, this looks good. Let me do that last one. We'll detail out this bird a little bit later. Okay. Thanks for stopping by. I'm just going to quick check the comments. Okay. Nothing new. Thanks, though, for coming by to see me draw. Adobe Illustrator is, or I'm sorry, Adobe Fresco is the program I'm using. if you could see my face while I'm drawing, I have to admit, whenever I do hands, I get a little tense. And I mean, they start to look a little bit tight because I get a little bit tight because I'm counting joints and thinking, is this the right size for the fingernail to fit in there later? And, it's the kind of thing where, you know that face where people will, when they're really thinking hard and their tongue sticks to the side or their mouth is hanging open. Well, that's me. Just saying. It happens. Okay. So that's the hand underneath, and it is right about here, and it just goes back into that sleeve right there. And this one comes down and does the same. Adobe sometimes Adobe Fresco thinks it knows better, and it kind of like, oh, I did that one wrong. It will kind of redraw my, there we go. That's what I wanted, is that hand going underneath there, and I think I'm actually gonna erase that one a little bit. There we go. And fix these up a little bit. Oh, whoa, whoopsie. Sometimes I get picky about lines that I really should just let go because these are just, I'm not actually selling these anywhere. I just do these live images for my evening kind of relax, unwind, and I'm going to turn another light on. I don't know if it helps you see better. I think it might. It's not because I have a job as a design manager in a design build firm. And my first degree in life was an art degree, and it's my first love. But I do this for my enjoyment. I would love to just do this during my retirement in a few years. And so please like and subscribe if you're enjoying this even a little. I'd appreciate it very much. Trying to build my audience. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the girl finished, and then we're going to talk about this field of flowers. And also we're going to do some bugs down here underground. And that's kind of a nod to my cousin who passed on recently, who was an artist, and I'll explain that when I get to it. Okay, I'm going to get going here because I want to finish this tonight if it's possible. Oh, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. Sorry about that. Okay, this hair all of a sudden goes like that. And that. Taking my coat off. She's super groovy. I don't really have an intention for her age. She's kind of ageless. Probably not an old person because she doesn't really have that look to her, but she could be a very young person or a middle-aged person. She can be, it's one of these kind of drawings where it's, you fill in the blanks of what you think she should be. Okay, so we've got a place where the hair color is going to go. That's one of those picky lines I should let go. And I'm actually not sure what I'm going to do here. I think I want to... The hair. It's got to be... That's a start for the hair. Occasionally you will see me completely use the eraser and get rid of everything. That is one of the lovely things about digital drawing is the eraser doesn't wear the paper out the way it does. Not that I would ever do that. Okay, so now we gotta start having a little bit of a feel of a wave. There we go. We'll let that be for the moment. Thanks for stopping by and hanging in there. I see an oh my God. I'm not sure what that means. I hope it's a good oh my God. So I like to come on here and share my drawing with you and the hopes that, you know, you will enjoy watching. We won't do that. We're going to take that scarf all the way up to the hair. The hair and the scarf are touching right there. And that if you think that you'd like to start practicing your drawing, you can see how easy it is and how you can pick it up and put it down and you can take it on the bus with you. Although I have to tell you, I have tried to draw and I have drawn on a bus. It's harder because of the bumps on the road. You end up hitting the back button a lot. But I take my artwork with me on vacation really easily when I'm working with an iPad. And honestly, I don't have the link in here right now, but when I republish this, I'll put the link in for Adobe Fresco. You can go on Google and find it. And then the iPad, you know, and the Apple Pencil, you can find those anywhere online too. But I will put in the description the exact model that I use, so that if you're wanting that information, you'll have it. Okay, so she's clutching her scarf. She's going to have on a black coat. She's going to have a sort of a grayish black coat. It's the only thing in the drawing that will be, you know, kind of like dark like that. Everything else is going to be super colorful. Oh, let me show you the palette. So if I go here, what I did was I preloaded an image that I go on an AI site every once in a while when I'm tired and I'm too tired to think, and I just want to do fun things and look at fun images. And sometimes I used to go on just Google Images and do that, and now I go on an AI site and I ask for different different things. And so I asked for a field of flowers, and they didn't really draw the flowers the way I would draw them, of course, but it was such a dynamic color palette that I went ahead and grabbed that color palette from that photograph, which is really easy. You just upload a photograph into this program. There's an upload for photograph button right here on the side, and then it will pick up all the colors that are in the photograph. And so these were all the colors in that field of flowers, and I'm going to use those in this painting. We'll have the sun and some probably some skin tones somewhere in here in the yellow oranges, and then I will add some grays, but I'm gonna do the blues in the sky and the greens and the roses and all that in the field. It'll be so pretty, I hope. That's the plan. I think this bird will be a raven or a crow. So I might change the shape of the head a little bit. Forward we go. Let's get this. How'd I do? Pretty good. It's hard, you know, one of the hard things about drawing on an iPad is that it is quite slippery. And I also have like this carriage that's holding the phone so you can watch me. And when you see it jiggle, it's because I bumped my pad. And so I'm gonna just do I gotta do a little something here. I'm gonna redo that line. It's just not flowing the way I like. I have standards. Back button. There we go. Back. Okay. So I was in an art class where we drew from a model, and we were encouraged always. Now, once we learned how to draw a figure, okay, first you learn how to draw a figure properly. Then you learn how to break all the rules. So you learn all the rules so you can break all the rules. And I remember an instructor saying years and years ago, why would you draw it normal when you can draw it with your own by changing the scale or changing the perspective to a worm's eye view? Just because you stand with your eyes 5 feet above the ground or wherever they are doesn't mean that's the perspective you have to use all the time. You can go down to ground level. You can change the shape of things. You can make things taller, shorter, bigger. So that's what I'm doing here. She would normally be, if you did 7 heads high, so she's about as wide. Her head is about, it's even smaller than my finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Her feet would be right about there if she was normal sized for scale to her head. But this makes a more dramatic picture. So that's what we're doing. I really appreciate all you folks stopping by. And okay, I'm going to pull out a reference and I'm going to tell you a little story because I'm about to draw these beetles, and I'm going to do a little, I'm going to do a shout out to my cousin Art, who passed on a couple years ago, and he did all of these works, but he did several paintings that include these beautiful scarabs, these really brightly colored scarabs. And I've seen them lots of times in art. It's kind of an age-old symbol. And I'm not putting any symbol to them other than, so anyway, I'm probably going to keep this out as I think I have another picture that he did of really colorful scarabs too. Let me show you. So I'm shouting out to Art in the Afterlife. I'm going to find those. Here they are. Lovely, lovely. I just love these. And so does my cousin Judy. We love these scarabs. And so I'm going to do a shout out to him by putting those little scarabs down in the ground. So I'm going to keep them out here for my reference. And I recently have been doing beetles. About 6 weeks ago, I started doing beetles, and I learned a lot about beetles. Actually, ladybugs is what I started out with, and a ladybug is not actually a bug. They're a beetle, which is a different, scientifically, it's a slightly different creature than a bug, and I can't remember what the difference was, but a ladybug, which is not really a bug, is called a ladybird beetle. That's the official name of a ladybug. And I learned that they have they're fierce predators, and I've done a couple shorts on my YouTube channel with ladybug illustrations, and the ladybug, you don't really realize that it's got these amazing wings that fold up onto that spotted shell that it has, and it's absolutely mind-boggling to me how fabulous nature is. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna do some scarabs, some beetles. I'm just not happy with that. I have to tell you, I'm super, super spoiled by the symmetry button. I'm going to move the guides. Where is that? It's up by the bird. Let's bring it back down here. And we will not move the guides anymore. I'm just going to draw the first part of the legs. And then this one, actually on the beetle, the front leg comes right out where the head and the body meet. So let's sort out this head. And that's where that leg is going to come out. And then we're going to have these little pincher things here. Okay. I'm thinking now the joint goes like this. Some little feet on there. They actually have quite a few joints in their legs. I'm not being super exact. This is not a scientific drawing, folks. Just saying. Make that one a little bit bigger. So you see how quickly the symmetry button moves this along. Whoops, let's get that eraser. And then, of course, the next tool that speeds everything up is a copy. I'm going to turn off my symmetry, and I am going to, let me see if I can do the magic wand. I don't know if it'll grab exactly what I want. It did. Okay. And I've selected that now. I'm going to transform it. I want to make it a tiny bit smaller. And I tilt it a bit, and then done. Deselect. Let me select it again. Actually, for some reason, when you use the magic wand, it doesn't let you do things quite the way I want to copy it. And it's not allowing me to pull open my copy. Let me try it once more. Okay. Copy selection. Paste selection. Make this guy a little bit smaller. And make him go uphill a little bit. And I'll do that again. Turn this one all the way around and move it over here. Okay. So when you join early on this, you see the actual drawing happening. And when you join later, you just see me coloring everything in. But it does get pretty exciting when it all starts to get colored in. So let's draw some burrow marks here. Okay, pay attention to your layers. Okay, we're there. Oops, somehow I've got the symmetry button on still and I didn't know it. I thought I turned it off. Undo. I kind of like how I've made these tunnels so that you know that they're gonna meet eventually and they're all gonna interact because the tunnels come together. Kind of silly, I know, to think about that, but I do. I think you have to think like that in order to be the kind of person who draws a drawing like this. Okay. So if I'm gonna do some fill layers on here. And one of the things I have to do if I do fill layers is I have to have the ends of these closed up. So I'm gonna use my ruler right now. And I'm going to draw some straight lines right along the edge to tie everything together here. I want it closer to the edge. There we go. And see there, even though I'm going to have to come back and grab that one when I turn my ruler off, even though I came really close, I didn't quite. All right, here we go. Turn that. I didn't quite close that one gap over there. 0 degrees. Thank you very much. No. Okay, right here is where I noticed it. Close that gap. And I somehow ended up with a line there I don't want. No. No. Oh, darn. Okay. Let's do the eraser button. Deselect. I don't have to erase every inch of it. I just have to disconnect it from the rest of the black, and then I can select it and just tell it to go away. There we go. Excuse me. No. Oh my gosh. Once it starts going off the rails, you better watch out. Okay, good enough. So I'm going to select, nope, deselect. I'm going to select that, no, deselect. I'm accidentally, I'm going to have to go close here. That one, that one, that one, erase. Deselect. That one, erase. I hope, I can imagine that if you've tried this and you got frustrated the first few times using this program, watching someone else draw with the program that's figured out a bunch of this stuff would make it easier. I know I've learned a ton that way with my architectural programs by watching videos of other people actually doing things that I get frustrated with. And then once you get it, all you have to do is get it once, and then you know it's there and you'll find it again. All right, I'm almost ready. I'm almost ready to turn off the sketch. Should I draw the flowers first? Yeah. Now this is the first flower is a very simple flower. So I might make life easier on myself and duplicate selection. We'll do a couple of these. We'll rotate it so it's not exactly the same. Change the size. Done. Just checking the comments. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I appreciate the thumbs up. I appreciate people stopping by. Now, this is for YouTube listeners. I wonder, so I did pretty well on my lives when I first started doing them. And I kind of just went along and I'd actually have like a few hundred to almost a couple thousand people stop by while I was doing a live drawing. And then, sometimes I have an off night and it would be, like 400 or 500 people. And then I decided, okay, I'm just going to let it out of the bag here. I decided, I'm selling this equipment I use without intending to sell it, but I'm always talking about how great it is to use an iPad, how great it is to use the Apple Pencil, and to use the Adobe Fresco program because it's one of the easiest art programs that I've found, and I've used a lot of them over the years. And so I was always talking about it. And then I thought, well, a friend of mine who does a lot of this stuff online, she's like, well, just put the affiliate links in there. If you're telling people in the comments what you're using, just put in affiliate links. And I'm like, well, I have an an Amazon associate account, which means that I can get a link and give it to someone, and then I get a commission if they buy the thing. It doesn't cost the person any more. So then I started putting the affiliate links in my YouTubes, and I'm not saying that was causation, but all of a sudden I wasn't being shown at all. And so tonight I stopped and I did not put in an affiliate link. Just saying. I have no idea if it mattered, but I bet I might. Okay, I'm going to hit paste selection again. So there's my curiosity about transform. Where is it? Is it here? Where is it? Oh, wow. Oh, it copied the bug again. That's not what I wanted. Sorry, you're going to go in the dark spot there. Done. Why didn't it paste the flower? Okay. Copy layer. Paste layer. Okay, so this is how many of these flowers we're going to have on this side. Done. And then we'll put 2 of them over here too. And we'll flip it that way, turn it, make it bigger, put it no, we'll put it down here. No, these are tall. We'll put it up here. Done. And duplicate layer. Let's grab it and oh, we'll put it right up here. Just a little lower than the other one on that side. We don't want them too even. Done. Done. Okay. So let's merge all these down. Now they're all on one layer with the girl in her dress. And then we're gonna do, thanks for stopping by, folks. Just double checking the comments. We'll grab that flower and duplicate it too. Okay, switch into a new kind of flower. Okay. Let's do some wild roses down here. I think, how many petals do a wild rose have? Do they have 4? Oh, you know what? I did them in my book. So I have, so I'm gonna, instead of like shutting this down and researching it online, which is what I would do, I'm just gonna look at, I made this book, Raven's Roost. It's a children's book. This was all done on watercolor on paper, but I did a lot of wild roses in here and I definitely checked them before I painted them for how many petals. Oh, they're the rose buds. I didn't do the open. Did I? Let's see. Did I do any open? I did not. I did all rosebuds. Okay, well, like I said, this is not, it's not critical. I'm going to do 4 petals. They might have 5. If anybody's on here that can look it up for me really quick, that would be awesome. I'm going to get rid of that. Do they have 4 or 5? I think they've got 5. All right, so we'll get rid of that one. And we'll make these a little bit smaller. As if this flower is a little bit tilted. There we go. according to the internet, oh, someone's looking for me. 5 petals. A wild rose typically has 5 petals. Yay! Thank you. My memory was telling me the right thing. Thank you for looking that up for me. So helpful. Okay. And we'll have them kind of turning and tipping different directions. All right. And let's do one down here. Straight on. Oh, let me do a quick plug in. You know, probably the worst thing about really getting into your drawing when you're using an iPad is that sometimes you're, you can get caught without being able to plug in. That would be the only downside to it. But I'm usually set up here and I want to check my Apple Pencil. I don't know how much battery. 88%, we're good. Okay, moving on. All right. And then I think I'm going to do just a petal wrap here. This could be just about any kind of a and this one I will probably I just realized I'm going to cause myself so much work painting in all of the little, let me do that again. Back, 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 back. Okay, just erase that. I am not going to connect the lines on this. You can see how I'm drawing this flower. It definitely has a flower feel. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to go around the outside of the whole thing. Now I'll just be able to fill that or watercolor inside that outside line really easily. I think I'll do a couple more of those and then I might do some copy and pasting. We'll use the lasso. Transform. And let's make that. I was doing some copy and paste here. Oh. Okay. And then we can copy this one too. That's down on this layer. So there's another thing you can do. You can hit the skew button and really change the shape by pulling on the different, like, whoa, right? Can you see that really well, what's happening? That's not what I want, but I did change. It was a perfect square when I put it down, and then I started pulling on the corners. I don't know here. It doesn't really let you pull on the, oh, la la la, I'm making it dance. Okay, cool. So for instance, done. I might take this one. Actually, this one's bothering me a little bit, so magic wand. Okay, I'm not on the right layer. Let me merge these all down. I like to keep my layers as minimal as possible because it can get confusing. You don't know where things are sometimes. Okay, so now I'm going to pick that one right there. Still not getting it. Why? All right, let's use the lasso. It must not be on the layer that I think it's on. Merge down. Yeah, there it is. It's on that layer right there. And oh, I see. See here along the edge. I don't know if you can see this. I've got the whole thing selected and I didn't know it. Deselect, deselect. Thank you very much. I trick myself sometimes. Okay, this one right here. Transform. First of all, I think I want it facing the sun a little bit more. And then let's skew it. Oh, I kind of like that. Perfect. Done. Deselect. Okay. So we've got a few different flowers going on, and I'm planning on doing some painted flowers they're not really clear like these are going to be. So I'm hesitating. I actually think I'm going to do some more of these simple ones that I've just been doing. Let me get those on. Let me get them down. There. Here. One of the best things I was ever taught in art school was it was in illustration classes. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, like when you watch some people draw, I'm just going to do an example of what some people do, and it's okay. It's totally okay. But I realized it slowed me down. It's like, okay, I want to draw that arced line right there. So I'm going to draw that arced line like this. And I mean, you get a certain look when you do that, but also you don't get a completely smooth line. I mean, that's an exaggeration. But what they was told in art school was put the line down. Like, get it down. Anyway, so you will see when I'm drawing, I get the line down. Not always, but a lot of times. So what I'm doing by repeating this flower, our eyes want something that's a bit consistent. Like it was looking pretty wild in here, which once I add color, it's going to get even wilder. So by adding that repetitive flower, I'm doing more of these flowers than any of the other flowers. It helps kind of calm down the very busy image I'm creating here. And let's do one more right here. And then we're moving on to the other side. I want to thank everybody who stopped by. I'm going to check the comments real quick just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm not. Thank you so much. Thank you all for hanging in there. I would love to know when you come by what you enjoy and, what maybe bugs you. Like, your hand was covering the drawing too much. Can you please not do that? Or you didn't check the comments often enough. It'll help me get better at this. I'm new to this. I just started doing, I used I used to think of YouTube as my closet, and I would put like videos of my horse, videos of my walks, all of that kind of thing. I'd also put little art videos on there because I just really enjoyed making art videos. But I really looked at YouTube as like a closet. It was a place to store things, not really to have share with people, to get feedback, anything like that. It certainly wasn't a place for me to teach anybody anything. But now I'm finding that YouTube is a whole different tool for me. And so I would love to get feedback from people. What makes it more enjoyable for you? Because I'm really like at the point where I'm doing this for you and myself because I enjoy it. But okay. Ooh, and we have a couple big flowers down here. Should I do? Yeah, I'm gonna just keep going with that theme. I like these a lot. Okay, we're getting close to when I'm gonna start coloring this in. So the first layer I'm going to do is going to be, so these are vector shapes I've done. Oh gosh, I have to do all the stems. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I got to draw in some stems. So not every single one, but I've got to draw in a few of them. I've got to add some leaves. Now, wild roses actually would be on a bush. They wouldn't grow just down into the ground. Oops, I've totally gone off the rails here. Let me undo. So this is a make-believe garden. Let me tell you, this is definitely a make-believe garden. And it's about creating lines that work. There we go. So we actually have a little bush in there. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to bump you. Sometimes it's not about totally about exact drawing, and it's about creating the illusion of what it is you want to say. And so that's why every stem doesn't have to happen exactly. They can die off into what will be paint when I get that far. So you notice the stems started just getting all mixed up together, which is totally fine by me. We're going to add a leaf here and there too. Now rose leaves are different, and I have to be true to the roses. They have Wait, a jagged leaf. I don't know why I have to be true to the roses, but I do. Because this is very much a made-up garden. And I'm just giving you the overview in case you joined me lately. Thanks for hanging in there. We've got a couple people hanging in. And I think what I might do is just keep going here because it's not actually going to take me that long. Especially if I just get after it. Just putting some foliage at the bottom. Okay, well, we're definitely getting the feel of what I was trying to get after here. So let's get this other side detailed out with some stems. And some foliage. Okay, we're just going to throw in some leafy kinds of things into these backdrops here. A couple more stems in here. No. What am I doing there? Thanks so much for everyone stopping by. I'm just going to double check the comments. Good times with Mela. Hello, you're good. Oh, thank you. Kevin, thanks for saying hello on Halloween. Solving Nimbus according. Oh, thank you for answering that. She answered my question about how many petals a wild rose has earlier, which I really appreciated that little helper. So we're getting to the point almost where I'm gonna add color. Not quite, but almost there. See, I've stopped being so picky with my lines. There's a little bit of overlap here and there. And I can go back eventually and totally clean all this up. Maybe I will clean those up because that flower is got a really pretty petal. Okay. All right, time to turn off. Time to turn off the underlying sketch here. So this is it. I'm going to take a break, but I'm not leaving. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to turn off that layer. I'm just going to show you that I started on this drawing yesterday. I got my inspiration really late at night, so I didn't come on here and do anything with it. But this program copies it, or not copies, it just records every stroke that you make. And so it's a way for me to show people how I got to the drawing that I got to, and how I might show how I got my palette. I had a photo on here that I deleted. I wonder if it'll show it. It just takes a minute, and it's going to show us a little video, and it'll be from start to finish of the drawing. It shouldn't take too much longer. These usually take a second too. There we go. Here we go. So there we started. I had shoes. Let me move this so you can see it. And can I go closer? A little closer? Yeah. She came out of the paper pretty quickly. I did play around with how big I want her to be. I inked her in last night just to make sure that I was gonna. I like to practice sometimes. I don't always, but I like to practice before I actually do a drawing in front of people. So I practiced it a little bit. I did not do any of the flowers or color anything in or anything though. except a couple big solids, and then I got rid of them. So then here we are, we're all caught back up to what we were doing tonight since I went live. And thanks for hanging in there while I took a break and watched this video and showed you how this all works when you're live. And I'm gonna start coloring in. Yeah, it didn't show that palette unless it did when I looked away. Done. Okay. So I do have the palette stored here. And I want this to have like a really kind of a painterly look when I'm done. But to start out with, what I do is I block in like colors underneath everything first, and then I go back with these wet brushes up here and I select areas and I make everything really painterly. But let's start with some, I won't go probably super dense on these colors. I realize that I have way more leaves on this side than I do on this side. So I want to I want to add a few more leaves on this side before. So let me not do that, and let me close this, do my pen, and let me just add a few more details here. Oh, that's because that's a wild rose. Kind of purposefully creating a little bit of, so I kind of want this all to be green coming all the way down here. And then I'll switch to like a blue sky up here. But in order for me to do that, I need my lines to, I need to like create a block of lines across here, which can be in, you know, a lot of different forms. They can be in the form of leaves or stems or flowers. Okay, so I think I've got a good block across there. Let me do the same thing over here. Right there. I'm going to stop a blue sky right there. It's not going to come down. It might get in here though. So let's do that. I think we're good there. I think I'll be able to have sort of a block of green here. Okay. So I'm going to add a layer right above my line layer here. Whoopsie. You thought it disappeared for good, didn't you? No. Move you out a little bit. Okay. Appreciate all the thumbs up. I appreciate the folks who've hung around watching. So let's just go ahead and start. It's gonna get crazy here for a minute, just saying. I'm gonna go with a really light shade of this for the sky. And it filled way more than I expected. Interesting. Hold on. Plus, let me do a selection and see if that will help. Magic wand, I just want to select. Yeah, it's going to pick a lot. Okay, so I think what I'm going to end up having to do is determine, I'll fill the sky, and then I'm going to determine where I want to block it off and fill it with green. That's how I'm going to do it. So I'll go back and I'm going to go to this layer and I'm going to fill it with vector. It filled a lot of things that I didn't want it to fill, but that's okay. I'll come back to that. Deselect. Go here and I'm going to select just her coat and I'm going to make it a nice light gray. Oh, I did that on that layer. Okay. Let me do that again. And let me go back up to this layer. This is where I actually want to fill it. It's filling more than I wanted. Okay. Okay, deselect. I've got too many things selected. I confused myself. So I am going to select this, her arms, and I'm going to move up to this layer and I'm going to bucket fill them with the light gray. Bucket, bucket, bucket. There we go. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to deselect except for on this layer. So turn that layer off for a second. Go to this layer and I'm going to select that and I'm just going to fill it back with white. It used to be filled with nothing, but I actually don't know the proper tool to clear that. I'm afraid I don't want to erase. Let me see if I can just hit erase. What would happen? Erase. Does it leave? Deselect. It left the black lines. Okay, I'm good. Okay, that's where I started. And now I'm going to go back up here, turn this layer back on. Now I'm good. So it takes a while to get the hang of this program. Trust me, it is the simplest that I've found. I still recommend it, even though you saw me, I falter every once in a while. All right, we're going to go back here and select the sun. And actually, I can select a lot of things. I could select her hair. Okay, I've got her hair selected. I could select the bird. And I could start bucket filling. I don't have to bucket fill them all the same color. So let's choose a really light yellow up here. And then let's choose we'll just go with a darker gray for the bird. It's not quite black. And then we're going to go with I'm going to do a brown for her hair. But I'll start out, I'm not going to do all of it dark. I'm just going to do some of it. Did I pick the brown? Brown. Here, here, here. Okay. Then we'll go with just a little bit lighter. I want to go with a little bit lighter streak there. And we'll go even lighter. Okay. Deselect. I have a dot in the middle of her eye. How did that get there? There we go. Got rid of it. Well, I keep making the mistake of painting on this layer here. I'm just going to have to live with it. I think it's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. So let's do her skin next. I'm going to go with a yellow color. Oops. Okay. I don't want her lip that color, but I've got a leak somewhere that I have to fix. So let me deselect. No, deselect. All right, and I'm going to go with a really light shade of this for her glasses. Okay. Then we're going to go with a nice, oops. Go back to my selection tool. And then you notice right here, see that little gap? That's what's letting all the yellow paint go into the lip area where I don't want it. So I'm going to quit selecting, deselect, go back and grab my black paint in just a vector brush. Let's close that, and we're going to close that. Oh, we need a small little line. There we go. Same on this side. And now we can, I should be able to do this without actually selecting. So let me bucket fill it with recent color. Yay. And let's get the hands too. With the recent color right there. Nails are always a little bit lighter. Let's go with the lightest. Okay. And that's the scarf right there. I'm going to choose that purple, and I'm going to go lighter with that just to get the scarf blocked in. Oops. Ooh, that's kind of cool though. Let me show you. Oh, I love it. We might go psychedelic after a while, but we're sticking with the black to start out with. Okay. It's getting late, I know. A lot of people are getting off to bed. Depends on what part of the country you're in. It's only 7:30 here, but I know it's way past bedtime for a lot of people who have to get up for work or school or play. Okay. All right, let's get the bottom roughed in a brownish. Actually, I might go with this really deep color for the ground area. Let's see what happens. Boom, got that. And there we go. I can always go back and lighten that. All right, got that all roughed in. Let's see what happens here. Ah, okay, that's what we're going with for now. We're gonna have some blue dirt. Okay, I kind of want to get this green idea fixed here and figure out what's going on with that. Let's just grab some nice dark green. It just turned this green in the background, but it's not really showing because that's over the top. Interesting. Interesting. Why? If I'm on this layer and that leaf is closed and I hit a bucket fill, it shouldn't go into the whole thing. Okay, well, doing unexpected things. Undo that. Well, that's interesting. Maybe I'll have to paint by hand. Interesting. Really, I'm baffled. I'm a little baffled at the moment. Because if I were on... Ah, that's why. Okay. Merge down. Okay, things are going to change now. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's move this one down. Behind. Okay, good. So far, so good. Now let's see on this layer right here if I can start filling at least some of these. Oh, yes, thank you. And that's okay if it fills the whole background. I'm okay with that. Okay. Let's go to a different green. Yep, it's going to fill all those again, and that's not what I wanted. Not yet, anyway. Let's go down here and pick this aqua color. Yep, it's going to try and fill all the leaves again, all the lines. Okay. Sorry, I got off the page there. Let's use that bright green right there. Oh, you know, I want it just a little brighter, I think. Let's go up here. No. So we're still at the color blocking stage, by the way, just to be clear. This is not the finished painterly look that I'm planning, planning on having. It's really a color blocking stage. And I can tell I'm not gonna totally get the whole thing finished tonight, which is okay. I will post the the finish on a different live, and I usually then will put in a video of some sort so you can see it like a short. I'll usually create a short. So if you subscribe to my channel, you will be able to find that. Okay, and now I want to go back here and grab, I had a few different colors going on here. So I've got the dark green. Do I have that green? I do. Oh, I didn't put any of that yellowy green in there. So let me do that. We need a little yellowy green. There we go. Okay, it's starting to feel like what I imagined. So I think tonight, we've still got a couple people on here, and I really appreciate that. I think I'm, just because it's getting late, I'm getting a little tired, but I'm enjoying this. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the painterly look on her coat and the sun and maybe her scarf. We'll see how far I get. And put some texture on it. And just so you can get a feel for what I mean when I say I want to paint over these blocked colors. Now that I've like clearly determined where they are, I think I'm going to actually merge this layer down. Now all my colors, all my black lines are all on one layer. These layers are my original sketches that I'll never turn back on, these two. So now I've just got basically one working layer, and I will start doing more layers. In fact, I'm going to add a new one, and it'll go right below this. No, it'll go right how do I want to do it? I want to do it below the black line. So I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going to erase the gray right now. The gray I filled in before, but that's okay. I'm going to erase it. I'm going to go to the layer below. That way when I paint, actually, I didn't have to do that. It's okay. But that when I paint, everything's going to stay inside these lines. And the black lines are definitely going to be on top of this layer, although with it selected, that doesn't really matter. Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse anybody. So let me refill these with the gray that I chose before. Over here it was sort of a medium. Let's do a pixel layer. Okay, so now I actually want this coat to be black. So we're going to start with some watercolor, and I'm going to go with this dark gray here, 34, size 34. I'm just going to paint in the selected areas. Yeah, it's not very dark, but that's okay. I think I want to build my layers up. I am going to make this bigger. So you can see what I'm doing. Definitely going to have a shadow underneath that. I'm going to go all the way up to the biggest brush I can. And I'm just going to start. Okay, so it's got a painterly look happening. And it's pretty much all over it. I don't want it to go totally flat though. And now I'm going to make that brush a little bit smaller, and I'm going to go to a little bit darker color. I don't know if I want to go all the way to black yet. Let's see what happens. Let's do it. Do it. Okay, I'm right under here, and it is spreading. Okay, I'm going to go with a much bigger brush, and I'm going to go and do a sweeping. There, I'm loving that. Love it. Okay, now I'm going to go get a dry tool. It's called a rake. Rakes. Let me get a big rake right there. And I think I want to add, I'm going to go and find the darkest blue right here. I just want to add some blue into the black. I'm going to go back over it. You can see what I'm doing here. I'll just accentuate this kind of sweeping coat. And this is going to be predominantly black, but I want a little bit of some other colors showing through the black. That's why I'm doing this. And we'll just build up these colors. So notice how it's not going on the scarf, because it's not selected. I can really do, this kind of makes up for this slipperiness of, you know, there's the slippery challenge with this. I'm going to go really big with my brush now. Oh, wow, that's kind of interesting. A little bit too big. Let me go down to right about there. I don't know. Still too big. It's kind of cool, but it's not the look I was trying to get. Well, let's go there. There, that's what I'm looking for. A little bit more coarse, a little more coarse. Okay. So I'm going to go back and turn this black now. And I don't think I want it quite that big. We'll go a little bit smaller. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another layer on top of this, because I am going to erase a little bit of the black that I build up here in order to have the blue show back through and create, oops, it's not black. Create highlights and, oh, I did that with my thumb by accident. Okay, so you can see it at a glance, it looks black till you get up close and you can start to see a little bit of blue. And I'm tempted to throw a little bit other colors in there too, but I think I could come back later and do that. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to make this rake really small, a lot smaller, so I can get a little bit more detail. And so I learned a while back that when you want to create bulk, you want like I want to feel like this arm has some mass to it. Is you build up. I want the shoulder to feel like it's got some mass to it. So you build that up with heavier color. And then you let the outside of that area become highlighted almost on the edges. And you start to feel the mass a little bit. And then you can further delineate the arm by actually using the eraser. And I can go in here and just do a little highlight. That might be a little bit too much. Let me go back. That eraser was really wide for what I'm trying to do. I'll just go down a little bit. Now. And then we'll just do a little here maybe. Sort of a reflective light. Okay, and it'll help to see it when I turn off the selection. I'm not quite ready. I just want to make sure that I've got things the way I want them. And I think I do. Thanks for hanging with me. Uh-oh, it's telling my battery is low. So I may call it a night here in a few minutes since we're running out of battery. I could plug in real quick though. Oopsie. Good times with Maya. Myla. Good times with Myla. That was nice. Thank you. Happy Hallows Eve, everyone. I hope you got some candy today for fun. It's hard not to have a little bit of candy on Halloween. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that code actually. I'm going to deselect this and let that live just that way. And I think I'm going to do, since you're still on here, we got a couple new people joined. I'm just going to quick add some shading to the face so that we can see, where is my painted face? It's there. Okay. So I'm going to use the magic wand to select the face and the hands, and I'm going to do some detailing. I'll add a layer on top. I'm going to add some watercolor and in a little bit darker color from my palette. I was way over here. I think I'll go down here and see what happens. So I have the sun coming from behind her over here. So I know this side of her face will get highlighted. I'm going to start with a fairly, see if this color is right. Oh, it's a good color. I like it. Her sunglasses, we'll put a little shadow on her. And I think this cheek will end up in shadow. this brush a little bit smaller because I don't want I'm going to go even smaller. And I'm going to go with a layer on top. So what happens is it just starts, there's too much water. It's still wet. You have to dry the layer. And I'm like, it's easier just to actually go on top and create another layer. And then I'll merge them down eventually. So I think I want to go in here and get a really nice dark shadow. We'll just go down here. It's bleeding over even. That's interesting, that problem. It's just, it's like paper. So I'm going to use an eraser here because that is the advantage of having a digital painting. It's a lot easier to erase than wet paint on paper. Okay, so that, let me just step back for a minute. Okay, that's working. That's creating some shadow there. And I'm probably going to go up here and do the same. I don't like that last line I drew. I like that. And this would probably be okay, and a little bit of shadow there. I think that's good. It helps those glasses pop out from her face a bit. Oh, I know where else I want to put some shadow. So I will deselect. Go back to this layer and let's choose her hair. And go up to this layer. Oops, what happened? Oops. How about here? Can I go here? It's flipping layers on me. It's jumping to another layer. So I'm going to undo that. So now I've got the layer back that I want. I'm going to create a whole new layer here and see if that helps. Oh, the tool jumped. Or I forgot to change it. Okay. Now let's do this again. Too fine. Let's make it big. Okay, we're gonna put her hair around her neck. It's really dark. Okay, I'm liking that. I am going to deselect. I will add, so you know how I did all these lines up here, I'm going to detail out all of the hair there. Oh, I don't like what I have here. And now when I, where is that line? It's right here on the vector layer. Let me see if I can fix it with a brush, and I will choose the color right next to it, right there. Yeah, that'll work. It's a little... This is actually not a good fix because when I go to paint, it won't pick that up. So I think I'm going to let that line live there for the moment. I'm going to see what happens if I just choose the eraser. See, it's erasing all the way through, and I don't want that either. I'm going to let it be for now. I'll fix it at the very end. It gets really hard to chase things sometimes. Let's see if this one is individual. Nope. So, interesting problem. Okay. This one's a vector, so I think I can do what I did before. Choose this color, and we'll just go like that and erase it that way. Okay. Okay. So there's a lot left to be done on this drawing, and it's getting late. I think I'm going to go rest, and I'll pick this up again tomorrow night. I might make some progress between now and the next time I see you, but I'll save the final touches for another video, public live stream. So thank you everybody for coming by. I'm going to say goodbye. Would love it if anybody who's still here wants to like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel, and every single person that subscribes adds to my happiness, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for dropping by. If you want to see the end of this happen in the next day or two, please subscribe to my channel, and I will finish painting this online, and you can see how it turns out. But I am going to say goodnight to everybody. I've been on here for a couple hours, and it's time to go eat dinner. Kind of a late dinner. Thank you all. Bye-bye.